To be Russian is to suffer, and this is no exception. After decades, centuries of Tsarist dictatorship, civil war, communist dictatorship, now another civil war, then, you know, we're apparently going back to a Tsarist dictatorship. We're being invaded by the Japanese and the Germans, so Russia can't catch a break, apparently. Oh well. So how did things spiral to this? Let's take a look. So this was submitted on disastersavior.com. Civil war path. Japan defeated China fast, justified and declared war. After that, Germany did the same, now fighting a two-front war. Moved most of my troops to Japan, and I'm certain the Germans will capitulate me soon. Please help. That's about the gist of it.
This contest is as good as over. I once caught a fish this big.
Oh, yeah? I once caught a fish this big.
I'm afraid you're both out of your league, boys, because you're looking at a woman who owns her own harpoon.
Harpoon my ass.
Okay.
No, I need a nap. I'll take a nap first. This video is sponsored by Manta Sleep. Being a parent is hard, sleep is very difficult to come by, and napping ain't easy, so it's great that Manta Sleep had reached out to sponsor this video, and they offered me their Manta Sleep white noise machine along with their weighted sleeping mask to block out the outside world, with the noise machine throwing out a nice sound shield and a gapless, non-looping audio of that delicious white noise, and the weighted mask giving me that comfortable feeling on my face while I'm trying to pass out and blocking out all of that hideous sunlight. I am now finally able to get a little bit of rest. Like all their masks, the Manta weighted sleep mask is fully adjustable. The eye cups will prevent light from getting to your eyes without actually sitting on your eyes, and the evenly distributed weight gives you comfort in any sleep position. Some calming weights to help you unwind. I am reinvigorated after that nap, and if you want some napping in your life as well, use my code BITTER at checkout and use the link down below to get yourself one of Manta Sleep's wonderful sleep masks or one of their sleep add-ons. I can highly recommend the white noise machine. It is the best. Anyway, back to business. So first of all, let's just discuss the fact that Japan declared war on you and you were unprepared. That happens, it's fine. That is entirely possible. Now, usually you get a little warning up top there that people are justifying against you, even if they're just using a focus to do it. If I were to prepare here, obviously I would just put troops on this border, and it would be real easy to hold them off because we have all the supply hubs. The Japanese don't really have all that many. Situation being what it is, though, it's a bit shit. So how would we proceed here? Usually, I would say abandon the east because it's pointless. The only thing worth holding on to in this general area are the supply hubs. So in this case, I'm going to hold on to this hub, and I'm going to try... It's possible. We might make it. I'm going to try and retake this hub and then just dig in and let the Japanese and their ilk suffer in the cold wastes because there's no point in holding most of that territory. Then the real problem. Yeah. He who defends everywhere defends nowhere. You are way, way, way overextended. So, yeah, let's start by deleting all those front lines. We're not holding the front. The Germans will continuously keep pushing your weakened troops, so we need to find a better way. I'd say that better way is probably a fallback line to some more defensive terrain. So when I say defensive terrain, what you want to look out for is forests, mountains, not that many here, city tiles, and anything that's behind a river. Now, obviously, the best defensive line has already been shattered, and that's like the river line here. Then you have the Vitebsk gate here, and then the rest of the river all the way down to the coast. So we'll try to make do. I don't like defending in the plains, but there's very little other options we have. And this is also a problem. So Kiev is a hub, Poltava is a hub, Bryansk is a hub, but like that triangle in the middle of it, there is no supply. I accidentally unassigned everyone. Great. That's going to be wonderful. So we'll just keep drawing the line down and try to stick to stuff that we can hold. Hey guys, just a quick little update before we get into things. The new DLC and Season Pass have been announced. If you're interested, check out the link down below. It will take you to the Paradox store where you can buy a Steam key for Steam, so no harm done. Same pricing as the Steam store. And if you use my code and my link, you get all the content. I get 12% of the revenue. Everybody wins. And I can keep buying more of these expensive Warhammer figurines because I cannot stop myself. That said, here is the rest of the video. I hope you guys have fun. I have more painting to do. I'll stick to the forests as much as possible. I'll just force deploy them. 24 divisions. That's a full army. Let's get cracking. Bit of a lack of generals, but that's just the Civil War. I'd make some changes to this eventually, but that's decent armor. It's all way out of position and not ready, so I'm gonna fall these guys back to the area around Moscow, maybe a little central to the front, and then redeploy them as needed. And the army currently engaged, I'm gonna force a withdrawal and manually put every single one of them on defensive ground. We want to hold as much of this area as we can. So I want to hold St. Petersburg. I want to hold basically as much as I can. We're not in danger of capping anytime soon, despite what you may think. But we're running out of really good places to defend. And with the east gone, our surrender limit's a little higher. What do the units look like? Yeah, this is good. This is decent. Combat with 18, but you've made them slightly too expensive. Artillery, perfect. Anti-air, perfect. Engineer companies, debatable. I really like them for the entrenchment bonus they give me, but other people say they're too expensive for just your basic line troopers, but I like keeping them in. Maintenance companies are something I deploy in extremely dire circumstances where I won't have an industry of my own to support my army and I need to steal. Strategically take to an alternate location. This is not one of those times, so I'm going to remove it. That's going to save you 5,000 support equipment and like 100,000 men. And logistics, you might think, I'm fighting in Russia, I need logistics, but you will be fighting close to your own supply lines in almost every circumstance. This is generally not something I'd recommend for basic infantry because they just don't consume that much supply on their own. Supply companies are for armor and really heavy units of concentration. Like, again, armor, motorized divisions, maybe mountaineers that you're deploying in a really rough spot, that sort of thing. That already saves us quite a bit of equipment, I think. So we're still a little bit short, but not as much as you might think. And we're going to keep training divisions. So another 24 will deploy as soon as we can. I want to get fewer troops over here. And then as this place stabilizes, I'll start peeling troops off of it as well. And fight the fight that matters, which is the one against Germany. As long as we can keep Japan from pushing past, let's see, this supply hub, they're not going anywhere. There is no supply for them. Air Force. We have an Air Force and no way to sustain it. The heavy bombers are gone. We have a little bit of CAS. Might as well not have it. And then 600 fighters that are god-awful. I'm going to bring them back. They might be useful to blunt German air. Doctrines, you've... Oh, I don't like mass assault. Like, mass assault, mass mob can be good. It actually is really good. It's very powerful as a meat wall, an organization wall to stun the enemy and just overwhelm them with numbers of terrible infantry. I just don't like it. I prefer Grand Battle Plan. Even Superior Firepower, I really like it because of the soft attack. I just... Considering, you know, there's no real investment in doctrines made, I can do my own thing. Air. Navy. Well, you have a Navy. It's all the way up there. And I think it can... Germany hasn't done... Hey! Germany hasn't done the thing yet. So I'm going to take the Navy. And I'm going to sail up to St. Petersburg. And I'm going to put it on strike force here to prevent the enemy from trying to land troops. And I'm going to sail all my submarines into the Black Sea. Will do the same there just to try and prevent naval landings. Quick little tip. Never put submarines with your surface ships. Because while even your slowest surface vessel here is like 21.5 knots, submarines are substantially slower at 13.5 knots, and a fleet can only travel as fast as the slowest ship in it. Industry, we're going to be building up the area around Moscow, and just to hedge our bets, stuff further back with high infrastructure. So we're going to build mills in the Siberian wastes under the assumption that the Germans are never going to get there. What does your improved air look like? Good, but you're using lights. I would prefer heavy machine guns. And the MG turd's terrible. Oh boy. Okay. Little tip. If you're going to go air, as Russia or anyone really, you've done the right thing. You've got the best airframe and the best engine you can get. What you also want, need are range improvements, unless you're Germany or anyone with a range-focused designer. I'll talk about that in a minute. Aircraft construction is very helpful. What you want is survivability studies so you can hit armor plates and self-sealing fuel tanks, vital air defenses, and heavy machine guns so you can actually shoot stuff down with your terrible, terrible airplanes. So we'll get those eventually. Make convoys so we can beg for stuff. And CAS. I'll leave production lines going for now, but I'll probably adjust. Basic mediums. What does the basic medium look like? T32. This is fine for the most part. Okay, what I use for your special modules instead of wet ammunition storage is easy maintenance, which you haven't unlocked yet. You get that through the second tech in the maintenance company's research. But other than that, this is mostly fine. I don't know the Soviet MIOs that well. We're going to use Astrov Design Bureau and we'll ramp it up as we go. Fast tanks, it's not that great. And we're going to use not Morozov Design Bureau for the production. We're going to use this guy, the tank refurbishment plant. Look at the production bonuses! So many tanks! So much cheaper! I'll put a couple more factories on tanks. I'll peel them off airplanes considering the size of our air force is just shit anyway. Alright, political situation. We are doing focuses. This gives us the Tsar back and allows us to join factions. Ooh. I might be able to join the Allies. And then I'll do Romanov reconstruction for the ticking stability I get from this. After that, we're going to get the extra research slot right after because we only have 3 slots. And what we're doing is infantry equipment, research speed, and engineers. Fuck. We're going to grab this for easy maintenance. We're going to focus on improving the infantry and keeping the industry up to date. We are very limited in what we're able to do. 71 days in, might as well. We're going to go to total MOB. We're going to need to build a lot of mills. That's going to cost us manpower, but I can get women in the workforce to offset that, which is down here. But we're non-aligned, so we need war support and 70% stability, which we do not have. However, I did see you have Grigory Semyonov. If I just fire Semyonov, I do have the stability required, and I get women in the workforce. And now I could hire Semyonov back, though I don't really like him that much. And let's also go to limited conscription. There's no downside to going limited conscription. It's just a flat 1% extra manpower. Chief of the army. We're stuck with Denikin, which I don't like. We'll replace him once we can. And then the army is just shit. We need to replace all these other guys. Yeah, let's just get the Ataman of the Transbaikal host back. All right, stability is a little shit, but we can fix that. So, who are we at war with? The Axis, which is still relatively small Axis for 1940. Romania is not in. Hungary is not in. Yugoslavia is still alive. And we got a decent allies. I wonder when Japan is going to attack. We'll see how this plays out, but I can probably join the allies. All right, let's get going. All right, just going to extract all of these divisions individually so they can at least make their fallback more speedy. And we're going to hit B on every one of these to get that railway icon. So they strategically redeploy and they get back to where they need to go a lot faster. Who just joined what? Mongolia? Great. If Mongolia falls, that opens up this flank. Doesn't change anything other than the fact that I need to protect that part of the railway should things come to it. Well, we'll see. Over here, you pin those Japanese. You try and retake that hub if I can get that. Japan has just declared war on China, weren't they? Oh, they beat China, got a big fat reorganized government and left the rest alone. And here's the kicker. Japan just declared war on China. It's fine. But China's guaranteed by the US. So USA. USA! I'm gonna have so many friends here. That just means I need to stall Japan in the east. I don't even need to retake any of this. Japan is gonna get crushed by FDR and his mini boats. That's probably fine. Get the hell out. Get the hell out. Over here, we're gonna lose Novgorod, potentially. Hold. I got fresh troops. This entire line is looking incredibly light, so we'll just deploy them as close to the front as we can. That's another 9. I've just made those changes to the divisions, as you saw, and equipment has updated. I'm 25,000 guns short, but we have a surplus of AA artillery support equipment. A little short on trucks. Guns to the top. Actually, trucks maybe to the top-er. And we've gone way down on all of these equipments. I'm going to take some off air, because just air, really good, really important, but not now. I'll keep making some airplanes for the efficiency bonuses, start making changes, and start equipment converting later on. Right now, I just need to make sure that the front line can be held. High equipment priority on reinforcement and garrisons. I don't think we're occupying anything, with just force of habit. I've redrawn the front line here a little bit. There is a bit of a supply gap here, so I'm going to give up more ground. There are no factories in Novgorod, so I'm just going to give up Novgorod. And before we give up Smolensk, I hit Scorched Earth, so at least they won't be able to use that hub until it is repaired. Now for a good old round of begging. Anyone who can send me equipment, I'm going to just start asking. People like Iran and Turkey usually have a lot of it, but that requires improving relations first. So once we get relations to 40, they'll be able to send us Lend-Lease. Getting the troops back from the Far East is going to be a fucking nightmare because everything is so far away. At least we're sort of pushing back on this front. This railway needs upgrading as well, because there just is not enough supply flowing through. This has to get leveled up. It's just too many divisions in the Far East for too little gain, so to say. All right, so Mongolia is already sending me 5,000 guns. I'll take him and keep pushing on that supply hub. This is what we need to hold. If we can hold St. Petersburg, that has a lot of pop and mostly industry, and then just trying to hold a continuous line to protect most of my industry, and we'll be okay. Russia is a big place. It can take a beating. It can probably sustain that damage far longer than the Germans ever can. So I think we're fine. It's just going to be a matter of securing the West first. And then I have 4 tank divisions here without anyone to realistically lead them. They're all low. Oh, God. I don't even have an armor leader, do I? No, nobody can realistically lead them. They're all quite bad cavalry experts. Why are they all cavalry? Cavalry is shit, son. So if you ever get to choose, you know, cavalry leader you get by using cavalry and motorized in war, whatever. Then you get to choose what traits to give these guys, unless he started with this. If you can choose between cavalry expert and combined arms expert, always, in any possible circumstance, pick combined arms expert unless you're role-playing as Attila the Hun or Genghis Khan. Cavalry is so shit for combat duties. You don't. Just don't. We're gonna have to promote some field commanders, and they're all going to be shit. So be it. Oh, they're super expensive too because of how many generals you have. I think it's scaling off the old Soviet number of generals, of which we don't have any. Oh well, some things in life are just terrible. And that's just the Russian way of things. We have a Far East theater, and we have a Western theater. Well, more or less. How is the Far East doing? So we're making gains towards that supply hub. Just stop attacking, or they'll push us. Supply is quite shit. Supply here is also quite shit. There's no other supply hubs we could realistically take, so I just need to take that hub, and then I'll know what the situation is going to be like. Situation is apparently going to be shit. All right, Zemsky Zibor. I have a new Tsar who looks dashing. Russia's back. Flag is back. Stability's back. We are so back, baby. I'll do the Romanov reconstruction because it gives me weekly stability. Weekly stability that ticks up is sweet. And we're gonna join the Allies. Why? We need friends. And I'll take any friend I can get. Yeah, the line is being threatened quite a bit. So Germany's using this. Blitzkrieg, it can really hurt. It's not as powerful as it could have been. I think the AI is just really bad at using those bonuses. But it can really ruin your day if we're not careful. I would like to have more divisions on this front. I just don't have any more. I'm going to bring in the armor into these fights individually to offset the amount of armor the enemy has, as well as just to blunt their attack, basically. There's just no supply here, making it really hard to take that hub. Actually, if we could just get a little lucky here, we might force them off. We'll see. It's not the main front. It doesn't really matter whether you want me to fight. Let's fight in Poltava. Hold them off. Shuffle troops in and out. Shuffle. What I mean by shuffling is, for instance, this fight. We might lose. This division has lower org. I'll move it to a side that's not currently engaged, and I'll move a fresh unit in from that tile and just constantly cycle units. This only really works if you both have room to maneuver those units and if they're not attacking you on every single possible tile. And it's super micro intensive, but it allows us to stall basically indefinitely, almost indefinitely, while we try to come up with a solution, such as more divisions for the line. They've made contact. A couple of these positions are quite under threat. Having to explain this to people. Last stand means they're gonna just have to buy us more time. Yeah, this is where you can tell by the number of troops here. They might not have supply, but there's a lot of tanks here. This is where the German force concentration is. It hurts, is really all I'm gonna say. We're gonna try and cheese this, just hold on to this for as long as we can. Get the armor in to blunt the attack. The same over here. That is some Lend-Lease coming in. Oh, convoys. Don't have convoys. I'm gonna have to say no because they will just not arrive. All right, Turkey likes us well enough. What I'm gonna do now, this is a little trick I like to do. I'm gonna train up a bunch of units that I have no intention of ever deploying. But what that does is make our equipment deficit huge, which means we can now ask guns. And the amount of equipment they're sending you is usually scaled to both their stockpiles and your need. In this case, Iran is sending us almost 6,000 guns. We'll see what Turkey sends next. One more daily tech. And they'll send us 5,000 guns as a start. And then we get rid of the deficit. And the situation has gotten remarkably better. All right, the armor has one. We've pushed that back. We've blunted that assault. Funnel fresh units in there. Get the old divisions out. And we're going to shuffle. We're going to do the shuffle. Down here. If they break through, we're in a bit of trouble. We could then fall back to here, but this is plains and really hard to defend, and we might lose Crimea. If it looks like we might lose Crimea, I'm going to force deploy a single tank here. I'm going to assign it to the correct general, but I'm just having it stand over there. The AI shouldn't have enough supply to push this tank off, and it can then both get the equipment it needs and hold this vital province for the Empire. Alright, so at least that's going well. Over here, we might actually be able to push this with a force attack. If we do, we did, and we will. We will and we did. Alright, take it. Come on. First division to arrive in a day and 4 hours. Holy shit, that's a long time. Anyway, while that happens, back to the front that matters. No, okay, red bubbles. But the tanks should hold this. And I'm just going to shuffle units out and fresh unit go in. And we're going to do that continuously. We'll do the same thing over here. Weak unit goes out. Fresh unit goes in. And shuffle, like our lives depend on it, because they do. They absolutely do. All right, over here, movement finally finished, and we've taken that supply hub. I'm going to reorganize the military here, a single field marshal order, hold all positions that can be held. That railway is going to take like 7 days to come online. When it does, we'll all be much happier. We're going to hold it with the divisions here, and we're most likely going to peel another army off. We'll see. Speaking of that army I've pulled off, they're over here now. Moving over to the Western Front. They're not quite over there yet. They are halfway across the world. God, Russia's a big place. When they arrive, I'll deploy them either in the extreme north or the extreme south of the front, and then we'll start adjusting as we go. I'd like to have 2 field marshals, so 240 total divisions to face the German menace, but industry is going to need to pick up before that happens. So as long as I can use my own medium tanks to blunt the enemy armored offensive, we're good. I've also made another little change to our basic mediums. They're still shit, T-32s, but I did realize I had medium howitzers, so I put those in instead of the close support gun. Like, that is way more soft attack, and we'll just fine-tune as we go. Production is ongoing. Production is increasing. If we can halt this offensive, we're good. I feel confident that we can hold them off. I would like to see if I can find anyone else who wants to be my friend and send me guns, preferably over land, but might be a tall order. Not a lot of people like that reminds me, Finland. I'm going to improve relations there as well. They probably have a lot of guns since they haven't had the Winter War yet, and they do produce quite a bit of equipment and then never use it because they don't have the manpower to make a lot of divisions. I do wonder what Germany's doing, though. They haven't taken out Denmark or Norway. They're just laser focused on us. Oh well, so be it. Shuffle. We'll be okay. And just as I finished my last bit about how I'm confident that I can hold this, I can't hold Poltava. It's just getting too much pressure. They broke through up there. Executive decision. I'm going to fall back to Kharkov and then line down along the river here to Donetsk, and then from Donetsk to the Black Sea. Railways should be able to pick this up, keep it all together. and we'll fall back to the river line. These are plains. Plains are quite shit to hold, but I could quickly throw up some forts to give me a little bit of an edge. Don't want to give up Crimea that easily. Gotta make sacrifices every now and then. Gotta think bigly. Alright, the extra divisions here have arrived. I guess we'll start deploying them. They can take up the line towards Kharkov, and then we can shorten the northern line. And we'll just configure as we go, as we get more divisions. Oh, it's a lot of red. You really did not leave me with much to work with. Well, there's a lot to work with. It's just that Germany sucks. Or rather, it doesn't suck. Over here, we did manage to retake that tile long enough for the railway to come online. And with that railway now functional, we can supply their troops in the area, and with that we can beat back the Japanese, start pushing our way back south to Khabarovsk. Basically, we're gonna push them back if we want to, but we can just as easily hold the line here almost indefinitely. It's very unlikely that Japan can really do much to us. I expect them to get crushed by the Allies at this point. They're in way over their heads. So it looks and feels like I might have stabilized, at least for the moment. So an army and a half on the southern bit between Kharkov and the sea. And then I've sprinkled in armor in vital places that were under a lot of pressure so they can hold off. The way it looks now, I think I can hold. The big problem I have is no generals. Every one I have is assigned. And getting new ones takes like 90 command power each, and it just keeps going up. It's really bad. So I'm really hoping these guys level up so they can have like 30 divisions each. I have to get them skilled staffer, which is gonna take a while. Still, it looks like we've held. And over here, I'm slowly trying to make some maneuvers towards Khabarovsk so I can get that supply hub back and then set myself up for a push against Japan in the south. Japan has defeated China again, and now there's a reorganized government of China and a reorganized government of China, one with Wang Jingwei and the other with Deng Hu. And there's the Huangxi clique, and just none of this makes any sense. I have no idea how things got here. It's wild, and I'm just gonna pretend I didn't see that. So with the Lend-Lease coming in, we're working our way through our supply issues. We'll get more divisions. As we get more divisions, we'll get ourselves stronger, faster, better, and we'll be able to push. I'd like to get some army experience soon, but none of my generals are anywhere even close to being level 4. They're all terrible, so we'll just have to suffer the indignity for a while. Now with the West basically stable, not going to touch it too much. I'll reorganize the armor once I'm really confident, and we'll start counterattacking, but I'll need a little more troops for that. But I'm going to start counterattacking here. I said before Japan doesn't really matter. It's true. They really don't. The US will eventually crush them. But I might as well help them along a little. Start a little bit of an offensive. See if I can get to... What is this? Heilongjiang? Is that Mukden? Oh, that's Harbin. Anyway, by pushing into this area, grab some more land, push them away from the Siberian Railway. I'm going to start pushing, and if the pushing gets difficult, we'll stop pushing. Oh, great. They've lost Singapore. God, you guys can't defend yourself ever, can you? Oh, the attacks have started back up. Nothing too serious. I've built a couple of forts as well. North and south of Donetsk, level 5 forts. And then on the Crimean crossing, level 5 forts. I don't think the Germans are going to get past there. I got my subs into the Black Sea, providing enough naval supremacy to get them off my back. Same with the Gulf of Finland. And my air force is shit, admittedly, but it does appear to be holding off some of the German Air Force in Novgorod Air Zone. It's by no means a great Air Force, but it's doing things, so I'll research the survivability studies and heavy MGs to make the air somewhat better, and then just focus on getting more factories, getting more research slots, and just pulling this country out of the gutter.
All right, before we continue, a few announcements. I went to bed, woke up super stuffy, extremely allergic, so for the rest of this video, I might sound somewhat ill. Life is terrible and I must suffer. Second announcement, for the remainder of this video, all elite units, all specialists, the hopes upon which I will build this empire will be renamed after channel members. These first illustrious 5 will take the lead, 5 armor divisions named after 5 channel members. It is through the efforts of these people that I am able to do what I do. So I thank you to all channel members, now, future, and past. And I hope you'll get me to victory, because we're gonna need all the help we can get, considering not too hot. A little help would be welcome. As I'm begging for more and more Lend-Lease with the equipment coming in, I'm actually able to deploy another army. Unfortunately, generals are an issue. So we'll keep building up that massive deficit of equipment, and we'll keep asking people. Mostly Turkey and Iran, really good sources of free equipment. Unfortunately, it seems we have exhausted all easily available sources of equipment by begging everyone for stuff. Well, life is not fair, so we'll give them a little time to replenish their stockpiles. Meanwhile, we'll keep training up another army, most of an army, and go from there. I have a little bit of army experience, but I'm going to wait until these guys are ready to deploy, and then we're going to switch over. So Italy's done a stupid and has gone to war with Greece, as expected. That is going to draw some Axis troops off the line. I'm going to try to take advantage of that by making a push from Kharkov to Poltava, and then from Poltava down to Nikolaev. Essentially, I want to cut off southern Ukraine from the main Axis front and create a nice big old pocket there and crush that portion of the front line. The rest of the line is holding now. I've got extra units out. I've promoted Denikin to my field marshal position. I'm just one general short. They take like 80 command power each to generate, so I'll have to wait for that. Let's see if we can make that work at all. Because the armor is reasonably okay. I'm lacking doctrines, but it's reasonably okay. It's a little low on org, but with doctrines it should pick up. I have plenty of... I think I have plenty of tanks? Yeah, I've got plenty of tanks, so I feel we can make this work. Again, I know that I need to add more support companies. It's just my org is a little too low right now, so I've just gone with bare bones stuff, so we can keep at least 30 organization. They're a little weak because of the lack of experience and just the fact that, again, no doctrines, but I think we can make it work. Alright, we're working on the air as well. We should have the industry to pull that off. Definitely once we can get production bonuses going, construction's going nicely. That's the advantage of playing Soviets or just Russia. You've got so much land the enemy can never touch or is very unlikely to touch. You got so many build slots. Once your economy gets going, you're a juggernaut. Alright, some pinning attacks. Just keep going. Attack south. It's just Romanians. Make sure to disrespect those guys. Let's go! Alright, Urals developed. Free Academy of Sciences, please. That will give me another build slot. Sorry, research slot. We're going. We're definitely going. And then along the railway to Poltava, if we can make it. Which I believe we shall and will and have. Huzzah! Almost huzzah? No, entirely huzzah. Alright. Always try to grab more. Make the beachhead a little wider. Beachhead is widening up nicely. Just make sure we don't overplay our hand. And keep the field marshal orders nice and clean so things don't turn horribly chaotic. Got a bit of a river crossing problem here, but I think if I can go around, we can solve the issue. Just go there, go around. I'll take the supply hub from the other side, maybe? Yes. Oh, I love armor. Love armor. And we got a supply hub. Alright, and then from there, it's going to be a small drive to Nikolaev, and then we can get that whole thing encircled with just 5 armor divisions, and they're doing wonderful things. Alright, first little pocket, 2 divisions, not much, but it will do. Unless they break that back open, which would be bad. Oh, that was close. And it's solid. Whew. And then we make that final drive on Nikolaev. Not a bad push. Not a bad push. A little bit precarious here, but I could get the armor... I could get the infantry to widen this a little bit. Just make it a little less risky to hold. Alright, St. Petersburg stands. The Americans are trying to attack. How typical. Okay. Before they can get a firm defense going there, last couple of tiles. Just go there. Actually, just last 2 tiles. Go. Yes! Got him! So this... unless they break it back open. But this entire southern section is now encircled. We're going to have the armor clean it up. And then we're in a much better position already. That is a little hard to count, but it's a few. It's a few enemy divisions. The railway should be online here soon as well. And we can only look on in awe as the Soviet army does more. Well, no, not Soviet army. The Russian army does more great things. All right. Good start. Good start. Yeah, now they're a little bit desperate trying to attack, but I've baited them to the edges of their supply lines in most places, and I'm in really good, or at least decent defensive terrain. They're not getting past this. And now the armor cleans up. Yeah, that's like a good 30, 40 divisions, maybe. Not game-changing, but it's definitely going to put us in a much better position. And they've also gone to war with Yugoslavia. You're overextended as it is. I mean, I'm going to take it. I'm going to take the win. We've got our airplane research in, so that's CAS. Improved small airframe. Let's just cram this full of heavy machine guns. And engines are fine. Range is fine. Dive brakes on a fighter are a choice. Let's not, and instead grab armor plates and self-sealing fuel tanks. This is gonna be okay. I wish I had a range focus designer, but this is okay. Obviously, we're gonna need a lot of rubber for this and some extra aluminium. How many was that? 160,000, another 30-ish. Not bad, not bad. So, where is the next place to push? Probably somewhere in the north where they don't have supply. Or maybe I can retake Kiev and starve these guys of supply to retake Kiev. We do like a pincer move towards Gomel. Ah, yes, yes. I have plans within plans. Can have like a couple of armor divisions drive up from the south towards Kiev, and then like half of the armor drive in from the north towards Gomel, and then create a big old encirclement in the center as well. Yes, yes. As for our Japanese front, barely any Japanese there. Let's see if we can take the fight to the enemy a little bit more. A lot of red bubbles still, so it's not amazing. It's probably not worth it. I could easily just keep this front frozen and not care about it at all. Probably my best bet. Just ignore it. If you ignore the problem long enough, it will go away. So we're broken through on the north. Let's see if I can make a run on Kiev. Be great if we can make that work. If not, oh well, life's not fair. Let's get some pressure up on the rest of this line. I don't want them trying to break out, and I definitely don't want them getting my armor encircled. I think we're in Kiev, I believe. A little bit of pressure to make sure we can open the door. Come on, come on, come on. All right, we're in Kiev. Make sure everyone's repositioning so we can fill those gaps. And I think we'll take that tile as well. A little help. Come on, one more division. Just got him. And I can hire a new commander here. I'll have to promote another field commander, which I can't afford. Yep, can't afford. Oh well. Alright, now the armor can close this, and the infantry help out. Alright, good. It does look like they'll push this here, but the railway is still intact, so that's irrelevant. I'm sure Denikin's mob covers more of the front as well. There you go, German cipher. Nice. Ooh, I think that's a lot of their armor as well. I think we may have trapped their force concentration. Sweet. That is like another 50 divisions, I think, give or take. So another thing I did is create myself a new army offense specialist. Basically took whoever was level 4, promoted him to a field marshal, gave him offensive doctrine, and then in officer corps roles, I gave him army offense specialist. That is going to be a lot better. 5% attack is better than whatever Denikin was giving us. Plus, as the general levels up to level 6 and then level 8, the stats here also scale up. It's just a really good thing to do. Once this guy is level 4, which he is, I'm going to make him an armor specialist as well. Same deal, really. Replace this guy with armor specialist. And I could do another thing with the infantry as well. But so far, so good. Air, we're also starting to get the quality edge over the enemy now with our airplanes. So we are shooting down a lot more than we're losing. And we've taken the north, at least the northern air zone. Got some CAS up. Gonna take victory there as well. And I'm gonna try and drive on to Gomel. And then try maybe like another pincer towards Smolensk. Cut off another section of the enemy front. Pushing the Germans back just does not work. Well, it does. It's just far too expensive. We're just gonna try and slowly cut their army to ribbons instead of just pushing it back. Having fun though. Having fun. Time for another bold maneuver. I did take Gomel, and now we're going to try and close the pincer between Gomel and Roslavel, linked up, and cut off another section of the Axis front line. Bit by bit, we're going to just cut these guys to ribbons. Take the supply hubs, take the railways, take from them everything, and give them nothing. Bada bing, bada boom! Another encirclement, and I think the infantry can clean this up. It's not as massive, but it's definitely impactful. It does look like a wide gap has appeared here. So I'm just going to battle plan my armor through a little bit, see how far they get before they get stopped. Well, apparently they're just going to let me drive to Vitebsk. Meanwhile, a little offensive down here has, the Japanese... I was gonna say it has the Japanese reeling, but the Japanese are just gone. They're not reeling, they're just gone. They're nowhere here. So Japan is getting its ass kicked now. Communist China has united whatever remains of the other little Chinas, and they're really making a fist, along with allied pressure, like these naval landings. And I would assume the US has done some terrible, terrible things to the Japanese Navy. Japan is not gonna be long for this world, and neither is Germany. 2.5 million casualties, 2.1 of which inflicted by ourselves, and we are just below 500,000 losses. Not a bad recovery so far. The armor definitely has done tremendous work. These elite soldiers are really the tip of the spear. So, merrily working my way towards the next big pincer, taking Vitebsk, saw an empty tile, quickly hopped across the river, and managed to push to the supply hub here and whatever this place is, and we're gonna try to pincer between Novgorod and the supply hub down here, and I believe we should have the strength to then destroy most of the Northern Army Group. As for Japan, yeah, it's not looking too hot for Japan right now. It's basically over. Their army is tiny. They've taken 1 million casualties. The US is going to crush them anyway, and we've done, you know, unspeakable things as well. So it's going to be fine. It's going to be fine. Let's see what we can do over here. Once the armor arrives in our north, I can start a push, and we'll have a jolly, jolly good time here. I can now always just drive north, I guess. Just have the infantry push down south. Speed! God bless the AI's inability to basically do anything. They can't keep up. Well, their loss. They're gonna potentially try and pincer me. Never mind. Got him. I get the armor out of there towards somewhere with supply, and we'll roll this whole thing up nicely with the armor. And obviously the infantry can play a little part as well. That is another fairly massive pocket, and the Germans are going to feel that. After which, on to Berlin. 25 divisions, not as big as I thought it would be. That will be a lot of manpower we delete. 240,000 plus a bunch of smaller battles. Not bad, and the front line has shifted west significantly. A little counterattack going on here, but I think I can take it. And then, let's see, I can either retake the Baltic by pushing from Vitebsk along the river to Riga, and at the same time pushing on Narva and Tallinn, create a big encirclement there, or I could do a sickle cut from Kiev down to Odessa to get the Southern Army Group out of my way, which does appeal to me somewhat, because these are significantly weaker. A lot of Romanian divisions there, they're not as tough. So, next step, Romania! Yeah, Manchukuo's basically gone. Good God. You know, the world is a funny place. It's also not fair to the Germans, apparently, because I'm just driving straight through towards Odessa, which is barely defended, which means the entire Southern Army Group is... They're all encircled. 6 armor divisions have just done this once again. The AI needs a little bit of a mental boost, because this ain't it, Chief. Oh, there goes Manchukuo. Speaking of a mental boost, yeah. I think we're good as far as the Asian front's concerned. We're here, destroy that, and call it a day. I'll bring the infantry in on the job as well. Get this over with. Got good casts, got good air. Speaking of air, got 1,000 here, got like 600 over there. We're also winning, or starting to win, the numbers game. The Russian industry is mighty. Once you get the focusery going and construction going, you are an industrial juggernaut on par, if not surpassing the USA. All you gotta do is just put the effort in. It doesn't just happen all on its own. Now that was 80,000 manpower, another 40,000 manpower, and 140,000 manpower. Big yikes. That is, speaking of big yikes, I need another new commander, so another field commander to promote. Anyway, the center is mostly marshes, don't want to go there. Could go from Vitebsk towards Minsk, take that back, and then cut north towards... I have more armor available. More members to join glorious battle. Yes. I just noticed Germany is down to less than 100 divisions. Oh my god, that's 4 million casualties. We have decimated them with those armor pincers. God, I love the armor. I don't think they have the strength to stop me. big sweeping cut down and let's get the air involved as well and get to the Baltic Sea through Minsk, Wilno, Kaunas, and then Memel. Get all of that trapped. I have the Navy here. Hopefully it can intercept some stuff. If not, still a nice amount of land we will be able to retake. And then my fighters, after training, they get to level 2, which means they're no longer terrible, and now we can deploy them. Always train airplanes using pilot exercises during the day, so just the sun icon. Otherwise, they'll be quite terrible. All right, we start the push, and I don't think they can stop me. Yeah, I don't think they have anything left to stop me with, so we keep going. Wilno and Kaunas next. Keep redeploying the infantry to keep all of the front line manned. Oh, God. Yeah, they just don't have anything left. I could probably battle plan my way to victory. Yeah, the armor just driving through here. And we have reached Memel. Magnificent. All right, infantry, assault inward immediately. Armor, stop what you're doing. Start pushing in as well. I could exploit south, but I don't want to overextend. I want to close this first, deny them the ability to retreat, and then we'll thunder into Germany proper. So we'll run up the armor along the coast, make sure we can take those ports. That way they won't be able to get their troops out quickly, and that will give us a nice amount of casualties here. Well, it's going to give them to the Germans, which is better. Oh, the Baltic states got to survive. Okay then. I'll take it. Russia will have its due in due course. We'll have that stuff back. And Germany's got to be out there deploying fresh units in a panic. They're back up to 100, but that is not going to save you. All right. And if we take Tallinn, all of these guys are trapped. It's not as many as I thought it would be, but I'll take it. Well, Manchukuo is also gone, so Eastern Front entirely irrelevant. Good to know. Yeah, with that, that just opens the door to Germany proper. Get the armor. We're just gonna drive. We'll break them at this point. We'll just run them down like the dogs they are. And we're through. Yep. Just gonna push now. Keep up the pressure. South is a little better defended because of all the miners apparently putting their troops on the Romanian line. But Germany itself is woefully under-defended. I'm just going to push as fast and as hard as I can now. Russian armor thundering towards Berlin. Let's go! And the Russian armor has taken Berlin. Huzzah. Just Germany and Italy. I can do that. Oh, it's in Polish hands. I'll have to accept that. Couple of big encirclements to cut the enemy army size down to size, and this is what happens. It just completely collapses. Pretty pleased with myself over this. I did think it would take longer to achieve these kinds of breakthroughs, but I guess they're just stupid. They could have stopped me at any time, but they just don't know how to play this game. As for Japan, Roosevelt's on the case. They have been pushed off the continent, mostly off the continent, but Roosevelt is taken to fight to Chugoku. That's over. This is just mopping up now. Ah, glorious. All right, sweet. Germans are out. That's basically it. All right, Italy it is then. Goodbye. Well, that did cost me 500,000 men in that wild push, but oops. I mean, it's okay. It's okay. I hadn't actually noticed that, but I think I can cap Italy before Italy can cap me. I think we're fine. Just one army group for the south. Everyone else north will deal with the problem. So fake China's dead. I'm shipping my troops over to help the US finish the job here because they seem reluctant. And then onwards to victory. Yeah, Soviets are so... Even the non-Soviets, Russians are really powerful in this game. Don't underestimate the sheer industry this country can churn out. Well, that's the Italian Civil War. And I think with that, oh, wait. Major faction members left to surrender. Greater Albania. All right. Then we'll do that, I guess. Greater Albania. You must be proud of yourself. There goes Tokyo. I don't really have claims on anything in Manchuria. Of course, I'll take Sakhalin. Take some of that. Maybe I can puppet China. Sorry, Japan. Maybe I can puppet Japan. That's a messy peace deal. I thought I was puppeting, but apparently I was clicking the take land button. So now we have a very, very messed up Japan. I don't think I can create my puppet out of that either. No, I can only return territory. Oh well. It is what it is. The state of Japan, and then there's Chinese Japan, and then there's communist China. I think regular Japan also survived somewhere, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, Hirohito's still around. Oh, you gotta be shitting me. You got to hold on to East Hebei? Really? Now, I did get his ship, so I'll take that. Russia's now a naval power. Seriously? American China? This is gonna make for a very interesting civil war, I guess. And then over here, we just need to defeat Greater Albania and Italy? Let's just deal with this. Oh, they got a navy in there. And I can't get across. God, I hate that. Oh, where's my navy? Wow, I just lost 43 submarines in a single engagement against, I guess, a couple destroyers. That was the entire Black Sea Fleet. Nice. Fortunately, they don't matter. All right, I've sailed the Baltic Fleet over. They do really well if you sail them to other places than the Baltic. And with that, victory is achieved. We will take our land and call it a day. And we're done. What a peace deal. What a facility capture. What? All right, people now no longer like me. The world looks messed up, so we've decided to do a little meddling in Europe, as Russia does. I've balkanized the Germans along with the Allies, so freedom for Saxony and a little bit of Prussia over there. I've done things to Transylvania. You know, if Romania and Hungary can't agree, we'll do a third nation solution, and that's basically it. We didn't have a lot of claims, just took Bessarabia because why not? Anyway, that is victory achieved. It was looking grim when I loaded this up, but once again, the might of the Soviets, Russia itself, is just in the right hands. This country is invincible. Anyway, hope you guys have enjoyed this disaster save, and I hope to see you guys in the next video as well. Goodbye.